Good afternoon to all. Last time we have discussed something about hyperversion, a resource cluster, now we are going to see something about multi-device broker, and then we'll move to something cloud storage management or remote administrative systems. The multi-device device brokers, and it's something like that. In order to build some database or in order to build something else, we need some new resources which we haven't activated when we created a cloud storage, or we need to delete some resources we don't know it. For that reason, a multi-device broker is required. And individual cloud services may need it to access a different type of cloud services, some of which may be incompatible with the cloud services when you have done a contract. So when you have done a contract basis, some of the services may require later on. To overcome to this part, we use multi-device broker. The major example or major thing is that when you start to build a cloud services or something like that, you need to have some of the resources which they will not tell you up, but at the end of the day we require that part. So to overcome this one, the multi-device brokers come into existence. The next class, multi-device broker commonly exists. There are three types, that is XML gateway, that is XML gateway, transmit validate XML database. What do you mean by which is nothing but independent of software as well as hardware. Then there is a cloud storage, which we require to transfer a data as well as to store a data, transfer storage data. In that, some of the properties which we required sometimes, that will be, if you haven't not activated, that will be done by multi-device brokers. And then mobile gateway devices, when you are doing the database transformation with the help of mobile devices or PDA or something like that. Then there are different things, transport logic, which will be created. That is transport protocol, that is done by UDP, uh, connectionless transformation, or TCP, connection oriented transportation. Message protocol, what are the rules you have followed according to that. Storage, when what will happen when other systems get interacted with it. Then the schema, the how the database is designed, how your database is designed. So the major part is these three things. These are four things when you go through it. Multi-device brokers commonly exist incorporated with the XML gateway, then cloud storage and mobile devices. And what are the rules they need to follow it? Transport protocol, message protocol, storage protocol, and data schema protocol. What do you mean by multi-device? When we use some of this database, some of the properties which we did not use or we did not sign the contract, but we need that properties. So that multi-device brokerage use that part in order to access that database, that properties. These are the things. You have a cloud services, we have a cloud services. Then sometimes what there is a multi-device brokerage. When you have it 1 2 3, which will use this type of database. A multi-device brokers contain the mapping of logic necessary to transfer data exchange between the cloud services and different type of cloud service consumer devices. These are the things. The scenario depth of multi-device brokers is depend upon your own cloud services, own API cloud services. Why? Because based on your services only, you need to have this multi-device. Because I may use as XML, or I may use as cloud storage, or I may use as mobile device services. Based on my required, it is there. It's on own API, based on your own API, based on your own, it is implemented. So the basic criteria of multi-device broker is something that when you sign a contract for your database or something like this, some properties we might not have a contract, but we might use it. So in that process, when you need that one, this multi-device broker come into existing, which give you all the access of this one, which follow all these rules. What is that? Message protocol, transport protocol, storage protocol, and other protocols, and database schema. And then how it is, the cloud service is already available. Then they've got a multi-device, and it is logic necessary, mapping of logic necessary required, and it depends on your own API. This is the part of multi a multi-device broker. Now next move on to other topic called unit 3, which is also a part of topic 4. Cloud management mechanism, remote administrative system. What do you mean by remote administrative system? Remote administrative system mechanism provide tools and user interface for external cloud services, resource administrative to configure the administration of cloud resources. There are two types. One is remote administrative system. The other one, remote administration can establish. The remote administrative system mechanism provide tools to interact with the external cloud resources. There is one thing, means when you have a remote access, you can able to use all the cloud resources. Cloud resources. In order to that one, you need to log in. Okay, a remote administration system can establish portal for access of administration as well as management future for various underlying systems like resource management. We have got SLS system, billing management system, and other things. What it will do it? It will do it to establish management features of various underlying system, including resource management, SLS system, and billing management system. So a remote management system is nothing but we need to log into the cloud resources and we need to look out for this all these resources. The major part of this cloud storage management is nothing but we need to log into remote administrative process. And what are the remote administrative process we are going to see? Remote administration system, as well as what are they? What are they? And how they are going to see, how we are going to do that part. This is your remote administrative process, correct? This is your, if you see it, you log in it. This is your remote administrative process. This is your cloud consumer. This is a part it. What are the resource management system, SLA management service level? What are the service they are going to give? Billing management, resources management. What do you mean by resources? What is your CPU? What is your CPU? What is the configuration for it? What are the what is hard disk you are using? And all the other properties, TCP protocol and everything. What are the agreement, SLA? What are the agreements you have done it at the time of signing this contract, management system? And what is the billing? Is that billing is going according to this requirement or billing is going according to this requirement? If we added remote, what are the billing is going to add it this remote console or console broker? What are the billing is going to add on this one? So these are the part. Go on to this one, remote control, remote administrative system is something like that. We'll log into it and we are going to see the different parts of your login of your cloud storage things. The thing is that when you log into the remote administrative system, there is a cloud consumer, there is a that is you or a user. Then this is what with this one. Sorry. This is this one, and then this is resource management. Sorry, this is resource management. This is LSLA and billing. Then let's move on to this part. What is this? There are two primary type of portal that are being created in order to use that. One is administrative portal, which manages all the resources, manages all the resources to different user in an organization or a batch. But manage, centralize, manage control of different cloud services for further providing IT resources for manage central management. It is going to do, whereas self-based protocol, it's for you're using it, the user, single user is using it. It can use search for up-to-date cloud services. You want to have available cloud services. You want to delete it, available cloud services, delete it, remove it, or I can say other parts. So there are two things which are you are going to do it. So the remote administrative system is of something called cloud consumer, remote administrative system, resource management system, SLS system, other things. These are divided into two parts. What are they? Primary team is administrative, which we have seen it. The other part is self-service portal, which you log in. Administrative is a central management where you log in. So let's move on to this part. This is what user. We have done it. Okay, now there are four things: one, two, three. There are points are one. Now let me go through it. One, two, three, and this is four. Okay, let's move on to other slides, please. Cloud services administrator. The cloud resource administrator then uses the self-service portal to select the requests provided by the new cloud. What is the new one? The cloud services. This is already list. What do you mean by this? It uses this part is already have a cloud account uh, account plus it use what services it use what services it is using. It's going to see this part. The second part is the cloud service resource manager then uses self portal to select the required. This is a self portal. This is a self portal. This is which self, which we discuss is self portal. This is administrative portal. This is administrative portal. Look, uh, throughout this step, remote administrative are in contract. And as we are using in an administrative block, we need more cloud services, more cloud services. For that reason, we are getting more at any given time. With self-based, we log in about one daily. We use that part within 2 weeks or 3 weeks. You require the resources and then you delete it. Whereas in administrative process, you create many resources at one particular time. You want to use that part, another part you don't want to use that part. This is a part of it. That so it is divided into one, two, three. This is the diagram cloud administrative, and once first part is that it's already been he's a login, he's already got the resources. He just go to the remote administrative process. Whereas the other part is that this is the self base which we have discussed here. This one, the third one is administrative block, which use in all this part remote administrative are in that one. Go to the other slides. Yes, we have already seen this. Depending upon what the type of cloud product and cloud delivery you use, depending upon leasing and the level of access control granted, further depending upon management interaction, other things. Depending upon this one, we uses this part. Depending upon this, we uses this part. Next part is what are the tasks which you use in this configuration, setting up cloud services, providing and releasing of IT resources on demand, monitoring cloud services, monitoring quality of services, SLA fulfillment, service level agreement, management, leasing out, usage free, other tracking internal external accesses. Other part is this one. Let's take an example which I have created an instant, which I have created instead just now, and which I have just used 30 GB of my size, and it is the properties which I have got. This is my IP address. This is in public domain, and I haven't told you what are the other part which I did not wrote it. That is about UDP and other connection which I already mentioned in that instant. We will discuss this part in our next class. Thank you very much. But we are going to finish this part of it in our next class. So what we have seen today is this one. What we have seen is that cloud management, a remote administrative system. What is remote administrative system? What is the diagram for it? What are the different type of remote administration? There are two types, and how that is used, and what for they are used, depending upon what are the advantages of use, and a real-time example. We'll continue with our real-time example, then we are going to see the other part of it. Thank you very much.